Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So today we're going to do the turtle flower pot. The frog flower pot. And I'm going to make a base to go with it. So we're going to do the frog in a green. And I pulled out some chrome, the Let's Resin chrome powders. And we are going to do the leaves in the green. The pot itself is going to be in the rose red, and the base will match the rose red. And then the center of the flowers are going to be gold, and the outer flowers are going to be the blue. So that's the color combination I'm going to try on this one. And so I'll get those mic'd in a second, and we will finish filling Mr. Froggy here. So before I start, I wanted to let you know, Craftor has sent me a ton of the black epoxy. They sent me this size, which... let me see here, is 17-ounce bottles. So we are going to be using this today. So you get the part A, part B, it's 1-to-1. Their resin is amazing. So then, let me see here, what else we get in here. All right, so we get some gloves, we get some sticks, and some flowers. So that'll be fun. And then you get your instruction booklet. So, and then they also sent me a bunch of the smaller ones. These are the 8-ounce ones. Oh, and hang on. And we got another one of those glitter things, which is amazing. This color is, my camera's not even close to picking it up. But it's gorgeous. And then a couple cups. So that was in the bigger kit, and this is what comes in the smaller kit. We get a couple of the small, a little holographic. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep this out, and I wish they hadn't scrunched it. But we're going to keep that out because I'm going to make a little extra epoxy. Or resin, whatever you want to call it. Guys, I am so tired. I finally finished my big fairy house. And then you get another one of these beautiful shimmery glitters. Some more gloves, some more sticks, and a couple pipettes. So, and then the instruction booklet. So that is, I'm just gonna, oh my goodness gracious, I have no clue what she is barking at, but, all right. So we're gonna just put the bottles in there. And then, I'm gonna keep these out. And then they sent me their new tumbler coating epoxy. So, oh God, last year I had made tumbler covers with ice and stuff. Actually, they're right here. And I had prepped 2 mugs, but I've never painted them. So these were the covers that I made. So I have my 2 tumblers already primed. I just have to hand paint a design, and then I'll pull out my tumbler spinner and we will do these. So let me see what comes in this kit. So we get some of these little ones, which I love. A couple of small cups, which are always handy. Some more of the gloves. And then you get, all right, So we get some more sticks. You get your 2 bottles, part A, part B. It's 1-to-1. And then we get the instruction method. So it cures to a hard, crystal clear, high gloss finish. So clean your surface, make sure there's no oil or dust. Then mix equally. And you can do it by weight or by volume. It's still 1-to-1. Stir it together until the mixture turns clear and there's no streaks. And then pour your mixed resins slowly onto the mold and tumble. For layered pours, start with a thin base layer. Add the next layer when the surface feels slightly tacky, or sand lightly if fully cured. After pouring the first layer, add your glitter, your sequins, alcohol, whatever. So yeah, and then cure and demold. Keep the tumbler turning until the resin cures, and allow it to cure for about 7 days before you use it, just to make sure it's fully hardened. It usually cures in 12 hours, for fully hardened in 24 hours. So we will be using this coming up. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure. I still got to get the 2 tumblers painted. I mean, I could do an alcohol drip, but I wanted to finish those cups, so it's going to force me to get that done. So back to today's project. So thank you, Bond Crafter. I really, really appreciate it. So I'm just going to set this back here. So I believe this holds 6 ounces. This, I believe, holds 3. So I'm just going to mix up 10 to make sure. But before we do that, I'm going to flip these guys over. And I'm just going to set that right in there. And we're going to flip our mold inside out. And I just got to get I can see a little bit of my previous color in here. So I just want to kind of get that out. All right. So if this comes out good, this set's going to be the giveaway, just so you know. All right, I'm trying to think. I'm thinking I'm going to start with the gold centers, because I think that's going to be the easiest. So I'm just taking like a eyeshadow brush, getting the glitter on, and I'm just going to just try to get those centers. Oh. And I probably should not have picked something that's going to take a lot of cleanup, because I'm wiped. Literally. Oh my God. My craft room down here is a disaster. My dining room was a disaster for 3 days. Now I have this ginormous fairy house sitting in my living room, because I've got to let it cure for 2 weeks. Well, it's 98% done. I put a fence in it, and I've still got to just put the top of the fence on. And what else? There was one other. Oh, I want to make like a sun catcher to put in one of the windows. So I'm going to do that later. I'm not doing anything today. I'm doing this video, and then I'm just going to go shower, put some clean, comfy clothes on, and I'm going to do my nails, and I'm just taking it easy today because I am pooped. That has taken me so long to do. I'm just trying to find something that would maybe this one will work. All right, so we're gonna do the blue on these. And I am gonna try to beat off a lot of it. All right, let me start with, and I can go in one direction. You know what, maybe one of these will work better. Yeah, I think this will work good for this. I mean, I was so tired. I literally shut my TV off at 11:30 last night, and it's usually like between like 1 and 2:30 when I finally go to sleep. But I was beat. I mean, I must have made, oh my gosh, 50 to 75 trips up and down because all my stuff is down here. So I'm like, oh, well, I want to add this. So then I would have to come down here, get it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm standing on a step stool to get to the top of my fairy house roof. But it came out amazing. So I will put a picture at the end of this video, even though it's not 100% done, but so you can see, you know, the massiveness of it. And then once I get it completely set up outside and charged, I will do a video and I'll post that so you guys can see the finished product. So if I would have filmed doing this particular project, my video would have been so long. I mean, I suppose I could have just, you know, added little segments here or there, but it was kind of one of those things where, you know, I was designing on the go, but I'm so pleased with it. I think it's one of my best creations so far. And even my husband was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And I'm like, wow, that says a lot, because usually, like, I'll ask him, because I mean, you know, like every day I'm like, oh, look what I made. And he'll go, yep. You know, if he really likes something, he'll say, oh, that's nice. But he was like, I love that. I'm like, wow. So yeah, I was impressed. And as you can tell, my voice, I mean, I didn't stop. I wasn't going to go to bed last night until it was done. So I literally was eating my dinner at like 9:45. When I got it finished, and then I got it moved. I had to put it on some boxes, but I think I'm going to transfer it over to, you know, like 2 of those like tray tables that if you're going to eat in the living room, I'll put 2 of those together and put it on there. And that way I can get it up just a little bit higher to get a good picture of it. So I tried to pick colors that would complement, you know, the whole piece. And I was going to try to do a light colored flower, but I had pink, and pink and red to me just, they don't match good. So and we just got 2 more, so we're not doing too bad, guys. Oh. So I'll probably end up using one of these little ones on the leaves. So yeah, I'm still trying to think of how I want to do the giveaway. So I want to make it so that you have to actually watch the video and you have to listen to it, because a lot of times I'll get comments, which I answer and I don't mind, but I'll be like, well, you obviously didn't listen to the video because I said what that was, but, you know, and I still answer it, but, you know, the watch hours helps. And because these are recessed in, you know, it makes cleaning up the edges very easy. And then I will put the little stopper in the bottom so it will have a drain hole. I can't tell if that's a petal. I guess it is. And I think what I'm going to do is because I want to do this one as a giveaway, and I don't want it to have any bubbles, I'm going to fill it up, and then I'm going to pop it in my debubbler before I completely fill it up. All right, so we're done with that. All right, so we're done with the blue. Now we're going to do the green. All right, so that's gonna this is gonna work good. And I might do just the, you know, instead of doing like every little one, I think I'm gonna try to do, oh, you know, instead of maybe those little viney ones, I don't know. Let me see. Because if I can just wipe over it, so. Oops. Because then I can always use, you know, my marker or something with maybe a different green. I'll just try to get a few of the littler ones, and then when I wipe over, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Oh, well, that's gonna be a mess. Oh. And then I'll do the coaster, you know, off camera while my resin's mixing up, just so that you don't have to, you know, be bored. It's just I have some new people that are still learning, so I like to try to show everything I'm doing and explain why I'm doing it. So those of you that, you know, kind of know what you're doing, you can always fast forward, but remember, you might miss the giveaway rules. Oh, all right, so now I'm just gonna, I wasn't even thinking that I hadn't popped this up all the way. All right. And like I said, I'm just gonna do some of these bigger ones. So there will be, you know, a little bit of variation through the, and then I gotta do the frog. Let me see, I might end up picking a different green for the frog. I wasn't even giving that a thought. Like I said, I am so tired. All right, just a few more here, guys. And then I'll... And I find if I do it this way, it seems to work pretty good. Because this fits right in that little space. All right. I have to work with my hand inside. All right, so let me just... All right, I gotta use a single finger here. So I'm just kind of lightly going over the top, so it gets the mica off the mold, but not in the grooves. So those thin ones, those might, you know, all right. So there's going to be some little spaces that don't have any, but I think I'm going to be okay with that. So I'm just cleaning out my little froggy guy. And let's see what we have for a different green. So we have this mint, we have teal, golden, olive. Let's do the mint. All right, so we're gonna do the mint on the frog, and I'm gonna use a little bit bigger brush. All right, I was gonna try to do under his chin in one color, but so I'm just gonna get the frog colored, and then I can wipe around it, and then we're just gonna put the red. So I'm just pulling this up to make sure that I get underneath. Really good. Now I can't remember what this green, it's a mint green. I don't know exactly what this looks like out. Obviously it's not a color that I use a lot, but we'll find out, right? Should be a greenish because it does say olive green, so. All right. Now we'll just clean. And there might still be a little bit of the, you know, the other colors that shine through. I'm trying to get most of it. But like I said, if I don't like it, I'll just redo it, even if it's the same colors. And this one's kind of a little sparkly, so and because this one is a chameleon, this one will definitely work better with the black. Whereas the chrome, it doesn't really matter as much. And all right. So now we can just color the rest, and I don't have to worry about my colors because whatever is on the mold first is what is going to show. And I just want to make sure that all my flowers are colored in from all the wiping. All right. And I'm just going to use this big fluffy brush, but I got to clean it out here first. And and then you just want to make sure that you burnish it in really good, that you have no brush marks. go. So yeah, and I also got my cucumbers planted. We're gonna go and get some planter boxes tomorrow so we can fence it off, because every year I try to have a garden, my deer eat all my vegetables. So I am gonna try to be proactive this year. All right, so that is looking good. And now I'll just start, you know, like I said, we can just kind of go right over everything else. And the reason I picked this color is because I figured even if the green and this red, you know, like on the ends of the leaves, sometimes there's some red in the leaves, I figured it would look okay. And I don't have any more of the regular red. That's the one I really wanted, but I'm all out. So, and you can't just buy it. So I'm waiting until I use up the rest so I can order a new pack so that I have the red. Oh, try not to touch it with your fingers after you get the color on. All right. So I just blow it off to try to get any of the excess micas out. And I'm trying to not touch the inside. Ah, come on. Snap up. There we go. And now I'm just... But you can kind of see how that's going to look. So the two different greens, I think, are a good choice. Okay, so I am going to go ahead. I'm going to get some resin mixed up. And I will get the bottom of this coated with that same red. And then we will be back. We're going to pour it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it... I'm going to try to fill it to like here and then run it through the debubbler, even for like 2 or 3 minutes, to try to pull any bubbles out. Because most of the flowers are like at that halfway point, except for this one. So I'm going to maybe a little 3/4. And then when I fill it, I will just really squeeze this flower here. So let me get my resin mixed up and I will be right back. Okay, guys, so I've got my resin all mixing. I filled that. I got this out. So I ended up making 12 ounces. So if we don't have enough to do the frog, then, but I do want to try this. So, yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna clean my blades off here. Okay, so for the giveaway, I had to go upstairs and think about it for a minute. I'm like, so since Craftor was so generous and gave me the resin, I'm going to incorporate that into my giveaway too. So what you're going to have to do is in the comments, you're going to write 4K giveaway. And then you're going to put in the same comment, you're going to put frog, and then Craftor. So those are the 3 words: 4K giveaway, frog, and bond crafter. Those are what you put in the same comment down below. And I'm going to draw it on Mother's Day. So it will run for 2 weeks. That way it will give everybody a chance to enter that wants to be entered into the giveaway. And that is what we're going to do. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that my sides and my bottom is scraped and that everything is incorporated. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 ounces in 2 separate cups. And I'm going to run that through the debubbler to get most of the bubbles out. And on the coaster, I'm not as concerned because that's going to degas really good on its own. All right, so let me just pop these in here and get this turned on. And then, like I said, I will also put some resin to try to get the most of these flowers, so maybe we don't have any little bubbles. All right, so I'm just going to clean this off, and I want to get a spatula because that's going to clean it much easier. So we're just going to pour this and I am going to stop right there. Because I don't want to have to run my tool around the edges because I've got the mica powder in there. So I'm hoping, you know, just by doing this and then squeezing, that we won't get any bubbles in our surface. Oh, and you know what? I almost forgot. I got to get my plugs out. All right, so I'm just going to push that to the back. And I'm going to spray it with a little bit of, I use 91% alcohol, guys. I don't use the 99 of the. All right, so we're going to take one of our little plugs, and I will link these in the description. And I'm going to take a Q-tip. And I'm just going to clean off a little section. So that our thing will have something to stick to. And see how my gloves hit that? Oh. All right, gotta go a little bit bigger. So. And then you want to make sure that you don't have any of that mica powder on this base. And I'm just going to take another one real quick. All right. I'm going to put my hand so that my finger is being able to push that really good. And I'm just going to take a little bit more of the red and fix. There we go. Just where my fingers, you know, touched it. There we go. All right. We are back in business. But that way, if you plant a plant in here, you'll be able to water it and not have to worry about it, you know, drowning your plant or overwatering it. All right, so I'm just scraping this down so I can see. All right, so there's about 4 ounces left. So yeah, we might have, I gotta clean these off. I'll have to take a scraper here. But I don't want to pour that until I make sure that I have enough for my frog. All right, so this is all debubbled. All right. All right, so I'm just kind of squeezing. Do I just take the chance? Doesn't look like there's any bubbles that I can see. I'm gonna probably kick myself if I don't, but you know what, we're just gonna, I mean, the last time I only had very few, so because I know not everybody has a debubbler, so, and if you don't, and, you know, you're making something where you really don't want any bubbles, just let your resin sit for 5 minutes in the container before you pour it, and that will definitely help. All right, we're just gonna, Yeah, we're definitely gonna have some extra. And I do want to get this domed. All right, so that is good. So I'm just gonna very gingerly, because you guys know how klutzy and messy I be. Yep. And it's not over full, it's just the alcohol on the side. So I'm just trying to clean that up so that it doesn't try to get out of there. There we go. All right, so we're gonna leave that. Let me just scrape all this in my cup so then I will know exactly what I have left after we pour that little coaster. And then we'll know how much that little coaster holds. All right. Let me just wipe this, get the bulk of this out. So yeah, I have got to, tomorrow I have a bunch of errands to run. So once we get back from doing that, I'm gonna come down here and get this disaster zone reorganized and ready to get back to making videos. I mean, I haven't even, I think it's been 3 or 4 days since I've even posted on my painting page. So, so that's another question. Do you guys, would you like to see me hand paint my tumblers or not? Because if you don't, I will do it over on my painting channel. But if you do want to see it, then I don't mind posting it on this channel. All right, so let's see, where are we at? So we've got just under 3 ounces. So I'm just gonna pour this little guy, and I'm gonna pour him back here. Okay. And these, all right, let's just see here what we've got left. So we have got about 1.5 ounces. So now I cannot remember what colors we mixed in here. I believe it was the, so I'm just gonna pour this in the black. We'll just finish him off, and then I will get something else. And let me just take a... Oh my gosh, everything is such a mess. Let's use this little one here. And we're just gonna drag some of this resin into the little tatos. All right. So that is that. And just over an ounce. So what can I do? All right, let's do this butterfly. So I'm going to use, let's do the chrome holographic pink. Because this is a matte mold, but I have found that if you brush it with like a mica powder, it gives a sheen to it. And I don't believe that I've done any pink butterflies. So why not? There we go. And hopefully we have enough. Just trying to squeeze them wings down in there. If there's any bubbles, that they can work their little bubbly butt right to the surface. Oh, we're just gonna have enough. Sweet. I hate it when I have to do a whole bunch of little things. All right, so we've got plenty in there, but I am going to, because I know one of these, I can never remember which side, always gives me a bubble. So I'm just gonna put a yeah. All right. So we have them all. Okay, that was a bubble. I was like, is that a bubble or something floating in my resin? And Oh, we'll do these little frogs. I mean, these little turtles. So I'm basically just kind of using what's left in this little brush, and this one will have like pink and blue. It'll have a little bit of both. And then we'll do one that's going to be just blue. Oh. And we'll do a green one. And I'll just make these into little magnets. All right. And then I'll find something else to pour the rest of this in. I'm just trying to get some resin in the little tiny spots before I top it off. And I just, oh my gosh. All right, we're not going to have enough left to worry about, so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these about an hour, and then I will pop them in the curing machine. And that way I can get this video done. So I'm not stressing about getting it out for tomorrow, because today is Sunday when I'm filming this. That way I can come back down later tonight and get this all cleaned up and demolded, and then you guys will get to see the finished product. So I will be back when it's time to demold, guys. Okay, guys, these are all cured. I did do my nails. So these are press-on nails, but I used brush-on glue. I have this finger and this thumb that hurt like heck. So I think they're a fairly thick nail. So yeah, if any of you have used these, can you please let me know what is wrong, why they hurt? Because there's only the two that really hurt. I did have a few pop off right in the beginning, but since then I have gone to the store, I've done groceries, I picked up Chinese food. Yes, I'm cheating tonight. First time in almost, 2-3 months that I've had gluten, but I did have Chinese food tonight just because I was just too tired to cook. So, that being said, let's go ahead, and I don't know what floated in there, but something did. Now, I have never done resin since I've had nails, so we could be popping a whole bunch off tonight, guys. I'm just saying. Because I am really hard on, and there we go. There's one. Why couldn't it have been the one that was hurting? So I do have another set that are a little bit thinner. So if these all pop off, I will try those. All right, so this is our little froggy dude, which he's cute, nothing special, but, you know, he is what he is. So that is our little froggy. Let's get our little turtle out. So this is our little pink one. We did get a few bubbles in his toes. Oh, really? Oh my goodness gracious. Now I gotta find him. Where did you go, Mr. Froggy? I mean, turtle. Oh, I see him. Ooh. All right. So that is our little green bug. He's cute. There's a little bit of overage, but not too bad. This should be our all blue one. Oh, I like this one. This little guy's really cute. I don't know why my camera's not focusing here. But that's the blue one. And this should be kind of pink and blue. Hang on here. Let me... There we go. So that's the pink and blue. That's just the blue. That is the green. And, oh, this is our little pink one with the two bubbles in his feet. So, yeah. All right, I'm just going to take my nail and set it aside so I don't lose it. All right, let's do, this is the holographic coaster by Craftor. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. Now, the only thing I don't like is you can see like the brace pieces in it. But other than that, it's gorgeous. And we got no bubbles on the edges, so that's a plus. All right, so let's do our Mr. Butterfly. Oh, we got one bubble there. And we still ended up with a bubble there. Let me get my snippers here. And just gonna trim this little guy a little bit. So we still got a bubble right in there, and I don't know why every single time I pour this little thing, I get the bubble there. So I don't know if I should get another one or not, but other than that, it comes out beautifully. You know, and it has a little bit of a sheen, even though it is a matte mold. So, all right, let's just push this mess to the side. We're going to save that for the last. All right, so this is just our base for our little planter pot. And look at how gorgeous that is. So that came out really, there's a few little tiny flakes, but I mean, overall, this is gorgeous. Okay, so, let's pop our little stopper out. And like I said, I will have these in the description below if you want to get them. Okay, so I'm just going to, my thumb is so sore. Let me just peel this back. And I'm just gonna kind of roll this up. Oh, there goes another nail. Why can't it be the ones that are hurting? I do have another set that are a little bit thinner, so if I can get these all popped off, I will put those on. But let's just see what we've got here. Now, I know a lot of people wear these press-on nails and they don't have them popping off, so I don't think I got the right set from my nails. Like they say, you got to try a bunch of different ones. So, that being said, I do have a couple others to try. All right, so let me just trim. And it's still a little soft. I didn't quite let it cool. So I'll just let that harden. Oh. But, I mean, we did get some bubbles in his two toes there. But overall, I am really pleased with how this came out. Other than the two little bubbles there. But that is, like, this is our little planter pot. So I'm still going to do this as a giveaway because it's not real bad. We did good. We got one. That's not even a bubble, I don't think. So we didn't get any bubbles in the flower. We only got them on the little paws. So, that being said, I'm just going to take my black. These are the oil-based paint markers. And I'm just going to just highlight his little mouth here just a little bit. And his two little nostrils. Just like that. And And then I'm just going to just color in these little eyes. Yeah. Oh, I think he's cute. Now we could, let me see. Just gonna see, and I just stuck my finger on the eye. Of course I did. And this is like a bronze color. And I'm just going to highlight some of these little bumps on our little froggy dude here. And I'm just gonna bring that up. And I mean, there's a little bit of the red that kind of bled through, but it's not real bad, so. And I'm just trying to get some of the little spots. You know, just so he's gonna show that, you know, he's a little frog and he's got little, like, bumps on him. And we got a little one there, a little one here. Okay, so now this I should have probably done in the red, but I wasn't thinking, but that's okay. He still is really, really cute. Let me see here. This looks like it would be a spot, and that looks like it would be a spot. There we go. So I think he is cute. And we popped 2 nails. This was one that was sore, so that's fine. I wish this one would pop off. And I will trim this bottom up once it's completely hardened. But that is what we've got. This is going to be the giveaway. So remember, if you want to be entered in the giveaway, in the comments below, you're going to put 4K giveaway, frog, and bond crafter. Those 3 words, 4K giveaway, frog, bond crafter. It's going to run through the end of May 10th on Mother's Day. So on the 11th in the morning, I will draw a winner. So put that in the comments below if you want to be entered in to win this cute little frog pot. I just wish this would have been a little bit better. I don't know if I can fix it with some UV. Let me try. Where is my scribe? Let's see. Right here. Here's one. All right. Because, and this was the mint. So I'm hoping if I can fill that, at least, you know, enough to not have it be indented, that would be spectacular. And I'm just gonna drop a little bit in these cavities. And we're gonna cure that. Now I'm hoping with the black below it, we can just take a little bit of this mint green and cover the top. Hopefully it's still sticky. Excuse me. And we're just going to put a little bit more of this so at least it's not gonna be like a total, you know, it's got black toes type of thing. And we're gonna put oh, wrong way. And that way there, he's not, doesn't look totally deformed, kind of blends in. And he's just gonna need a little bit more. I do want it to feel rounded. And that way we have no sharp little bits. But other than that, I don't think I did too bad, you know, on this pot. We got no other bubbles except for there. All right, so that way it's a little bit smoother, kind of blends in a little bit more. And I've just got to redo that eye because I stuck my, let me just cure that before I stick my finger in it. You guys know how I be. All right, so let me grab. And like I said, once this completely cures up, then I will retrim it really good before it ships out. So you guys will have no sharp bits. There we go. Alrighty, guys. So this is the giveaway, which I think is really cute. Yeah, there's a little bit of bleeding, but it doesn't look bad at all. At least some of the green shows up. I just don't know. Let me try this green. Let's see. You know, maybe I can do a couple with a little bit of different color. You know, almost like a little bit of a highlight on them. And all right, let me just see if I clean this up a little bit, how it's going to look. And oh, I just stuck his eye again. All right, so that's not looking, I mean, at least, on some that we didn't, you know, like there isn't anything at all, we can put a little bit of a different color green. All right, I think that's pretty good. Let me just... Just kind of see if there's any, like, major little... So it doesn't look too bad, even with the 2 different greens. It actually, I think, enhances it a little bit, gives it a little bit of a glow. All right. And that does it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Don't forget, if you want to enter to win this, follow the rules, and I will draw that on May 11th. Alrighty, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Bye.